Hey folks, good to see you all today. So today, what are we doing? We are going to be working with some cold brew coffee. And this is cold brew that that I did last week. If you want to check it out, you can go back into onto our pages and our videos. I know that I did a cold brew demo. I know Brendan did one as well. So you can definitely check those out. I have recipes embedded in the video. And if you ever have any questions, of course, you can always ask us those questions. So the weather is getting a little warmer, so I decided today that we're going to play around a little bit with some of that lovely Vesuvio cold brew that we made using our Filtron. So what are we going to do today? So today we're going to start off making coffee with maybe some things you have at home for sure. We want to always be working on ways to make these coffee drinks that are accessible for folks without having to get special tools. So in this case, what we're doing is we actually have a setup for you if you have just your standard kind of cocktail ingredients. So I'm going to start with a cocktail shaker here, right? It has two parts to it. It has the shaking glass and then the shaker, right? So there we are. And we need a little bit of milk, some chocolate sauce, and then of course our cold brew coffee and ice. So this is going to be super simple. I want to talk a little bit about the chocolate sauce here for a second. So in case you are needing to make chocolate sauce, I had actually never made it before, and I was pretty surprised at how easy it was to make. You just took a little water, about half a cup, and put in powdered sugar because it dissolved really easily, and cocoa, and just stirred it, and then the cocoa absorbed that water, and it made this fairly thick consistency. You could make it a little thinner if you want, but pretty easy to make. If you guys want, we can do a demo on that as well, of course. So here's how we're going to do this drink today. I'm going to start by putting ice into my service glass. And essentially, we'll do the same thing when we move on to the next technique. But the idea is that we're going to use the ultimate service vessel as a way to kind of measure out what we're doing. So I'll start by putting ice in here, off camera, but you can probably hear it. And the good reason for doing this is that at the end of the process, we don't, of course, want our drink to, come out of however we're mixing it up with too much volume. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put in my milk. I'm going to leave a little room. I'm not going to fill it all the way up, and you're going to see why in a second. And then here's the great thing about using this cold brew. I'm only going to use an ounce of this, right? It's really just a relatively small amount. That's one of the great things about the cold brew is the consistency of it is very, very concentrated. And so when we dilute it, in this case with milk, or you can dilute it with hot coffee even, if you want to make an iced coffee, the way we do in our shops, it brings forth all those flavors still, but there's no over extraction in it, right? So, bonjour, Eric, good to see you. Yes, iced coffee for the win, says one of our friends on Facebook. All right, so here is something we're going to do, which might be a little bit different than you're used to. So if you have simple sugar at home, or simple syrup at home, that's great. If not, you can go ahead and add some sugar at this point. I'm putting in confectioner's sugar. And the reason for that is that it will, of course, mix very well and very rapidly with all the ingredients. And here we have our chocolate goes in at the very end, right on the top there. Look at that. Boom. All right, now the exciting part, right? Here we are. Right? Goes in. Put the lid on top. Give it a little bit of a tap. I always put my thumb over the end. I'm not a pro like some of my friends out there, right? You can really shake it vigorously. And you see now there's a froth that built up on that drink. And it's a lovely dark color as well, right? That chocolate mixed up in there. Don't mind if I do. Oh yeah. So I made my chocolate sauce with relatively little sugar because I had some different things I wanted to use it for. By all means, you can sweeten it up or make it as dark as you like, because you can always add a little sugar into the drink afterwards. Remember, we can always add to something. It's harder to take it away. So that is one way to make a blended drink. But now, my friends, we want to get serious, right? All right, a blender. Yes, my friends. Look at that. It's nice to have a blender at home, and you can do this with almost any blender. You'll see that I have my Vitamix here, but really almost any blender can do this. We're going to use the same principles here, right? We're going to have our glass, and we're going to add our ice directly into that. Joy of home studios here. And I can fill that ice quite a ways up, right? Okay, so there we go. Into that, I'm going to go ahead and add my milk. Okay. And now into that, we're going to put our coffee. Again, we don't need much because we're using this lovely concentrate right in top there. And now into the blender. Boom, boom, boom. Great. At this point, we can go ahead and put our chocolate in. Right. Now I'm going to put in something which you may not have at home. I'm going to add in one of the secret ingredients that we use in coffee shops, and this, in this case, is a little bit of a emulsifying agent. Now, what does that mean? So what that means is this is a combination of things which you might actually have at home, and one thing which you can pretty easily get. It's powdered milk, powdered sugar to equal parts, and then 1/8 of that volume in xanthan gum. All right? So, a little trick here. Often when you blend up iced drinks and you just use your milk and your coffee and your ice, it will water and then the ice separates from the drink. What we are doing here is we're using actually this combination of milk powder, sugar, and xanthan gum to help bond that all together and give it a nice mouthfeel as well. And xanthan gum is actually really great stuff. In this case, it's gluten-free and vegan. We're going to go ahead and hit it slow first. You can see there, let me show you, that little bit of a piling up at the end which occurs, which shows us that we have a nice body on the drink, right? And then I'm going to do something else, which, you know, I have to do. I always have to do. Right. Okay. So, A little whipped cream never hurts, right? I didn't bring the straw. Tastes good. Now I want to show you why. So you can see there's a nice consistency to it, and get it up close to the camera. There's a good quality to the mixture of ice and the things that we want to taste, right? So when the ice separates out and the coffee and the milk and the flavors sync, that is kind of what leads to a drink which you might want to sip kind of in hot weather, being not quite as enjoyable. And you can still see I made this drink this is just a latte, no chocolate, about 30 minutes ago, and it still is, the ice is still in suspension, right? And that's what we're trying to do here, is maintain that suspension of the ice in the drink. And that's why the addition of that xanthan gum. If you were to break it down per 12-ounce drink, it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon of the xanthan gum. So just consider that. It's not very much. It's very effective in creating that effect. And that is probably the difference that you taste when you try to make blended drinks at home and when you may go out to shops and coffee shops. Across our entire industry, we always use some type of a powdered binder, which helps give that drink its full flavor and helps suspend the ice. So just a little trick, and something you can do yourself. Again, you can find xanthan gum usually in the baking section of any store that you go to, and you can also find it online. We order ours online. We do a lot of baking. We do a lot of gluten-free baking as well. And the gluten-free baking often relies on something in addition to the flours that we're using to create that binding quality. Xanthan gum does that. There are other items you can use as well. There's some different kombus or types of seaweed, or Irish moss is another one. You can find those in specialty shops. So there are different ways to create that effect. But really, when we're looking for a nice blended drink, and I can't get the right quality here. Let me see if I can get this here a little bit better for you there. You can see this, it's a lovely, lovely texture, and you can see it's all holding in place as well. I had the whipped cream. I'm sorry. I'm weak. It's really delicious, and I'm going to drink this as soon as we're done here. There's one thing I wanted to show you all. I want to remind you that right in front of my face. If you're watching today, you can use this code. You can close to the weekend. We're roasting coffee today, and coffee that gets ordered today will be sent out on Monday. But we are roasting throughout the week. We're ready for your orders. We're at 200% in both of our facilities that we ship out of, both in Atlanta, Georgia, and Olympia, Washington. And I want to remind everyone that you can use that code, Watch and Learn 10, and with that you'll be able to get 10% off your entire order. Let's talk about what you might be ordering today. Now, I mentioned the Vesuvio Blend, right? And so the Vesuvio Blend is one of our darker roasted coffees. If you go to the website here, you'll find it here. Now, here's the thing. If you want to do it, if you want to make it as a cold brew, and if you refer back to our videos where we do cold brew demos, you can see that you can either, if you have a grinder at home, that's great. You want to grind it really coarse. But if you don't, you want to just grab a 12-ounce bag of this. When you go over to the grind setting, you can see here that we have the different selections for you. You go right up here to either French press toddy. We really kind of think of those as the same. Now I'm going to select that. There we are. So we would grind that for you if you wanted us to. If you don't have a bird grinder, no problem. We can grind that for you when we send it out to you. And we add it to our cart. And then I just want to keep on reminding folks, you can go up to your cart here after you ordered. And then if you, and it just gave us a reminder there that or coffee order today will be shipped out next week on Monday. So you go down here and you see there's a discount code spot right there, and that's where we go ahead and we enter Watch and Learn 10, and we apply that coupon to that order, and it of course takes that off for us. And that discount applies to everything on our site. Now, one of the things you might like to consider as you're looking for coffee is you can go up here to our gifts and apparels under cups and mugs, and we do have, besides our awesome hot mugs, if you go scroll down, we have these lovely stainless insulated cold cups. So a great addition to your coffee order. And again, if you put those in there, you're going to get that discount on those as well. So we're getting close to the weekend here. I hope you're stocked up for coffee. I hope this helped a little bit as you think about making some cold brew drinks at home. We'd love to do more cold brew cocktails. I know Brenda did some great ones last week. I'm going to stretch out into some more adventurous ingredients, but we want to start basic here. Just a simple blended coffee. It's pretty close to what you would get if you came into one of our shops and got a cold drink. So if you don't live in Atlanta or Olympia, where you can go into the stores now and get a cold blended drink if you like. If you don't live there, you can make one at home. That hopefully helps out with that process a little bit for you. Oh, and I wanted to let everyone know that Ponce City Market in Atlanta is open for curbside walk-in, grab and go, and call-in orders as well. So be sure, if you Ponce City was your store, go and see them. They're ready to see you. We're so happy that they are operating again for their loyal customers. And again, thank you all so much for everything that you've been doing as part of our coffee community. We hope these videos help. We hope they help connect you with something you love, which is coffee. I know that it helps connect us with you, our customers, which is something we love, right? And together we're going to get through this. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to check through here really quick on the social stream to see if there's any questions I can answer. Starting tomorrow, Becky reminds me they're open. I apologize. So open on Friday for Ponce City Market. I know that we have our cups there. Florida is hot already. Yes. Don't I know it? It was raining here yesterday, and I was going to go out and mow the lawn. I really was, but it started raining. What can I say? So check in tomorrow, 9 a.m. Ben will be on the pages, and then Brendan will be back with you on Saturday. Again, I believe his time frame is 1 to 4. He'll jump in here and let me know if that's different. He did a great Toledo wave last night. We had a busy day here. Yesterday we had one of our longest running family farmer partners with us, Pablo Gonzalez, called in and talked with Bob about the state of Guatemala coffee. We were able to cup some of the El Valle coffee that they're offering this year. We're really excited about that. It's one of my favorite coffees that we have. Go and check that out if you missed it. And then next week at the same time, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we are going to have a call with our partners in Bolivia. We're getting ready to launch our Bolivian coffee. So we'll have that for a cupping, and then we'll also get to talk to them about how things are going in Bolivia and their response to what's going on and how we're continuing to move forward with great coffees. Question came up from someone on Facebook. I forget your ratio, 4 to 1 for the cold brew. So 4 to 1. It does depend a little bit on. I think I have one of these cheat sheets here. Hold on, let me grab it for you. This is great, live production. So if you remember, I don't know if you can see these. So when we did the French press method, it was 1 to 4. And again, that's for making this concentrate. But in the larger batch style with the Filtron, in that case, more like a 1 to 3, right? So, it's a pretty strong ratio. Traditionally, the ratio is 1 to 15 to 17 for coffee to water, but it's much higher coffee concentration. And again, that is because without heat or pressure, we're using time to extract things, and the water is super hungry, and it is a super solvent, and it will capture a lot out of that coffee. That's also why we grind it nice and coarse, because you don't want to capture too much out of that coffee. Just like any other brewing method, when you're doing cold brew, ambient brewing, or hot brewing, there is a window we're trying to hit to capture the ideal flavors out of the coffee. And so we always want to be respectful of that. Thank you all for watching today. I appreciate your time. Go out and make some cold drinks with some cold coffee that you're making at home. Share them on our VIP Boosters page. If you're not a member of that yet, check it out. That's the Backdoor from Bronson Boosters VIP page. We send out, we have a little community there where we talk about coffee. We share pictures of our first coffee in the morning and different drinks and recipes that we're coming up with there. And then we have specials that come through to that page as well. So if you're not a member already, please jump over there. And we will see you tomorrow.
Hello. I know many people are curious about who I am and how I approach my work.
Okay, off the table. Okay.
This is a class for those who want to understand my leadership style and then understand the experiences that have helped me become an effective leader.